what's up you guys? My name is Jackie and welcome to my channel, Leisure Week. So this weekend I am going to the National Book Festival. This will be the second time I've ever attended and I'm really excited to go. I have a couple books that I want to get signed and a couple authors that I want to go to their presentations. I'm really just looking forward to enjoying the weekend with my family and book lovers from all around. So in honor of the National Book Festival being this weekend, I decided to create the Book Festival tag. This tag consists of 10 questions about book festivals, books that you enjoy, and all kind of centered around the idea of a book festival. With that being said, let's get started. Question number 1. Have you ever been to a book festival, book con, or any big gathering of book lovers, authors, and publishers? So, as I said just a second ago, I have already been to the book festival one time before, a couple years ago, and I often go to my local Comic-Con. It's not the same as the San Diego Comic-Con or any of those. It's actually hosted by a local library. It's a free event where you can go out. They have tents set up for authors, publishers, illustrators, people selling items that have to do with comics and books. People dress up. It's a lot of fun. I usually go with my family, and it's just a great time. It's a great day out in the sun supporting our local library. So I do typically go to that. I've also wanted to go to the Baltimore Book Festival. I have not made it to that yet, but I am planning to sometime in the near future. Question number 2. Would you rather get a book signed or attend an author presentation demonstration? I personally am going to have to go with get a book signed by the author. I just really enjoy being able to read a book, fall in love with it, and then have the opportunity to meet that author, even if for a few brief seconds, to get my book signed. I can then have the book on my shelf, and every time I look at it, I'll remember that experience. With that being said, I will, however, attend the author presentations, and I am pretty excited to hear some of my favorite authors speak. Question number 3. If you could introduce one author on stage, who would it be and why? And for this, I'm going to have to go with Carolyn Kepnes. Last year, I read the book You by Carolyn Kepnes, and I fell in love with it. It is absolutely one of my favorite thrillers to date. I would introduce Carolyn Kepnes simply for the fact that in the book You, she was able to achieve something that I have never personally read before in a book, and that is the powerful use of the second person. Typically in books, I personally think that the use of the second person comes off pretty cheesy. However, Carolyn Kepnes was able to use it in such a fantastic way and so appropriately in the book that she wrote. I have never seen it done before, and I think it is really setting this ground for these second-person narrator books. She's really setting the stage for the second-person narrator books going forward, and I would really love to be able to introduce her and talk about her use of the second person. Question number 4. It's book signing time. What book would you be most excited to have signed by the author, or what book are you most excited to own a signed copy of? I'm going to answer both here, and my first pick is going to be Night Film by Marisha Pessl. I actually have the opportunity to get this book signed on Saturday, as Marisha Pessl is going to be present at the National Book Festival. I'm really excited. I just read this book a couple of weeks ago, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I loved her writing ability in this book, and I'm really excited that I'll be able to have a signed copy of it. And the book that I am most excited to already have a signed copy of is Poppin's Pumpkin Patch Parade by Diane Sloss and Kimberly J. Brown. Kimberly J. Brown was the lead actress on some of my favorite Halloween movies growing up. They were the Disney Channel original movies, Halloween Town. Kimberly J. Brown was on book tour when this book originally came out, and she stopped at the Barnes & Noble in Towson, Maryland, which is right up the road from my old college. So my best friend, who still lived in the area, stopped in, as she knew Halloween Town was one of my favorite movies growing up, and it was also one of hers. So she went ahead and got a signed copy of this book for me, and gave it to me for my birthday present. So this book holds a lot of sentimental value to me, as it was a gift from my very best friend, It is signed by an actress who is in one of my favorite childhood movies, and it's just a cute book. It's filled with these adorable illustrations all throughout, and I'm just really happy to own this and have it sitting on my shelf. Question number 5. What is one festival or con that you have always wanted to attend? For me, that has to be the San Diego Comic-Con. I've recently fallen in love with this whole world of Comic-Cons and just being able to go, enjoy the day, be yourself, and be around people who also enjoy the same things you do. And because of that, I've always wanted to attend the San Diego Comic-Con. However, that is on the other side of the country from me, so I have not been able to attend. Question number 6. If you could pick one book to be highlighted by the National Book Festival as a standout book for all to read, what would it be? For me, I'm going to have to go with The Radium Girls, The Dark Story of America's Shining Women by Kate Moore. So if you don't know, this book tells the story of these female workers in 1917 who worked for factories where they would paint glowing dials onto watches, clocks, and military dials. These paints contained radium, which is what made them glow. These women were unaware of the dangers of radium and were often told to keep the paintbrush tip fine by licking it. So they would often stick their paintbrush in their mouth to make the tip more fine so they could get better lines on their watch. And while they were doing that, they were exposing themselves to the radium in the paint, which years down the road led to horrible, horrible medical situations for these women. This book just tells the story of these women who are often forgotten about in history books and their poor treatment from the factories they worked in. If you haven't read Radium Girls by Kate Moore, I highly recommend it. It is an important story that I think more people should be made aware about. Number 7. These festivals are often categorized by genre. If you could pick only one genre to read for the rest of your life, what would it be? For me, I am going to have to go with thriller, mystery, suspense books. These are my absolute favorite books. I've described them to friends and family as my home. It is my comfort zone to curl up on the couch with a thriller. It is what I feel most comfortable reading, what I feel most safe reading, as ironic as that is. I really enjoy them. They're within my comfort zone of reading, and I absolutely love them. I think that if they were the only books that I could read for the rest of my life, obviously I would mind, but I wouldn't mind too much considering that there are so many different thrillers out there, and I'm sure that I could find some absolutely amazing thrillers that I haven't had the opportunity to read yet. Question number 8. What is the most prized possession on your shelf? And for me, that's going to have to go to Dream, A Tale of Wonder, Wisdom, and Wishes by Susan V. Bozak. This book was gifted to me by a high school English teacher. This teacher knew I struggled all throughout the year. I was actually in a standard English class. I had dropped from the honors the year before because I had a really difficult teacher and I started to question my own ability in reading and writing and just general English class. And the teacher really understood that and understood me. And she knew that there was more to me than what my last teacher had left me feeling like. So at the end of the year, this was a book she had given out to everybody in her honors classes. And as I was not in an honors class, I knew about this book from my friends who had it, but I did not have a copy. Well, little did I know, at the end of class, the very last day, when I went to go tell the teacher goodbye, she handed me this book. And on the inside of this book, she wrote an inscription telling me that whenever I am doubting myself, having a hard time, or not knowing where to go, that I need to open this book up and read it. This book has very powerful messages in it, along with beautiful paintings. This book has actually won 11 different awards and top 15 world illustrators that have created these beautiful pictures all throughout that go along with the story. So, if you guys are ever having a really tough time or doubting yourself, I highly recommend going out and picking up this book and reading it. You'll understand at the end of it why I suggest it to you. So, this definitely has to be one of my most prized possessions on my shelf. Question number 9. Because it's all about the love of books, what are 3 books you have loved this year? And for that, I'm going to have to say Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This was one of my favorite books. I read it a couple weeks ago. I did not expect it to be as complex as it is. It's really deep, makes you think, and I think it really showcases Marisha Pessl's writing ability. I absolutely love this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I highly recommend it for anybody else. One of the other books that I have absolutely loved this year was The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. So I think I actually gave this book a 4.5 stars. I have actually given other books 5 stars that I have not included in this. However, this book has really stuck with me. It has been about 2 weeks since I've finished this book, and I still cannot stop thinking about it. It was one of those thrillers that I could not put my finger on the entire way through. I thought I had it figured it out, and then it would change, and then I thought I'd have it figured out again, and then it would change one more time. So, it's been about 2 weeks. I'm still thinking about this book, so I have to include it on the 3 books that I've loved this year. And the third book I read this year, I actually rented from the library about a month or 2 ago, and that is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I absolutely loved this book. I thought it was wonderful. It really made you think the whole way through and question what you would do if you were in the character's situation. I thought it was a really powerful, really moving book, and I loved the fact that throughout the book there were social media tie-ins that actually existed on social media in the real world. I thought that really helped bring the book to life and bring Mateo and Rufus to life as well. Hey guys, it's Future Jackie. I was editing the video and I realized that my camera stopped recording before I was able to tell you guys question number 10. So question 10 is, who would you take with you, or who do you tag? So I'm going to go ahead and tag 2 people. I've watched these 2 people for a long time, way before I started my booktube channel. And they were actually 2 of the people who inspired me to finally start my booktube channel. The first one is Peter from Peter Likes Books. I would definitely take Peter. He is one of my favorite YouTubers, hands down. I watch all 4 of his channels, and I feel like because we are both introverts by nature, we would understand each other a little bit more and be a little more comfortable walking around the book festival together, where there would be tons of people and a lot of stuff going on. And the second person is going to be Emma from EmmmaBooks. I love Emma's personality. She was one of the first people I found on BookTube, and I've watched her channel ever since. I feel like because Emma has been to a few book festivals before, she would know the ropes and kind of be able to guide us around the festival better. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. The links are in the description below. I hope to see you guys again soon, and in the meantime, make it a great day. Bye!